The following is an ESG on-location video.
This week, Dell Technologies held an interesting event, actually multiple events, in New York. You'll note I said Dell Technologies. Yes, that's the umbrella organization, and we heard from just about all the component parts, including Dell Technologies Capital, the investment arm, with fascinating stories of early-stage money that they have into machine learning, fog computing, internet security, and specialist processors optimized for AI and human genome analysis. That linked well to the IQT day, the IQ of things. It's what you get when you cross IQ and IoT. Aside from the razzmatazz, the launch included news of a focused organization to bring all this together. Michael Dell was animated and convincing in his enthusiasm that this is not about humans or machines, but about humans and machines. One could be forgiven for thinking that Dell intends to deliver everything for IoT. What Dell does no doubt want to do is extend its foremost infrastructure vendor intent to the IoT world. Now, that should be attractive to many deployers and could cause some concern to the competition, since there's a requisite degree of breadth, both portfolio-wise and geographically, and engineering capability that's needed to have any realistic shot at this. Few players have that, Dell does. Dell mixes IT, IoT, IQ, but adds its own special source of ubiquity. Which is all why I, one of the infrastructure dudes here at ESG, am commenting here. Because this evolving internet and all the data from all those things still has to be housed, processed, stored and protected somewhere. And reassurance of Dell's rightful place at the forefront of all that was the aim of the rest of our time in New York. Dell's portfolio of companies and products gives it awfully long arms to wrap around many problems. Servers, storage, networking, VMware Pulse, Pivotal Edge, Xfoundry, HCI, data retention, distributed analytics, Boomi, the list goes on, and there's services overall. Now, of course, especially these days, all this data, IT or IoT, must also be protected. Here's my colleague Jason Buffington with his thoughts from the event.
When you modernize production, you have to modernize protection. In the Dell story, they have a lot of production to modernize and automate and transform, and those are some of the three tenets that we're hearing about this week. When it comes to really transforming data protection, there's a couple things that Dell is really focused on right now. Certainly integrating and simplifying via the integrated data protection appliance. And then also what I like to think of as backupless backup and moving data directly from primary storage and primary workloads directly into the data protection storage tiers. Now that's a different kind of architecture, and it changes the math in virtualization, it changes the math in large-scale databases, and even in primary file-based storage. And those are going to be really interesting angles to look at. The other thing to watch for from Dell in 2018 is going to be how cloudy is their data protection story, because you can't have a digital transformation story without the cloud, and Dell's cloud story is still in the coming.
Thank you, Jason. I'm not going to go into much detail on all the other products at the summit. For one, because I do focus on infrastructure, and for another, there was plenty of stuff covered by NDAs, but suffice to say that the combined Dell EMC organization is more focused on providing a good meal than selling individual ingredients. That's because it can be focused in that manner. That's because it makes sense. And as Michael Dell said, that's because IT is becoming BT, or business technology. And here, as with its IQT aspirations, if you were to be a genuinely unbiased vendor, then not only does ubiquity matter, but so does pragmatism about which part of the portfolio is most important to any given customer on any given day. Sure, there are still plenty of issues and market challenges as these two companies continue to work through their mega integration, but the realistic opportunities are far greater. Jeff Clark summarized things by saying he likes his hand, and I'm not sure I'd bet against him.